Okay, we'll call this meeting to order at 11:30, Tuesday, August 27, 2024. We're here for an update on the Kootenai Soil and Water Conservation Group, and Mr. John Groff is here. So go ahead, John, take it away.
All right. Well, thanks for letting me come and visit with you. Yeah, I just thought I'd kind of offer a casual rundown of what the commission's been up to over there. It's been another year of helping with funding and coordination for the boat check stations. That's done real well. And there's an individual that comes to most of those meetings and reports how many times they found a boat with mussels on it coming in from another state or some weird little weed or things like that. It gives us the sense that the folks that are out at those facilities actually checking out the boats as they go through are doing a pretty thorough job. I guess they do catch them. So I think they're helping our lakes by preventing spreading of those little buggers, trying to offset that. This year, they set up a booth at the Homesteaders Fair. It was over at the Kootenai County Fairgrounds. It's been a couple of months ago now. I went and participated for my first time, but that was interesting. There was over 5,000 people that went to that event, and there were a lot of different activities going on at the same time. But at the commission's booth there were a couple of the board members that really had strong background in the ag business, hay farmers, cattle farmers, that sort of thing. And so folks would swing by the booth and ask questions about weed control and erosion control and stuff like that. I learned a lot just listening to those guys talk. But they had what's called a no-till drill there, a piece of farm equipment. You ever heard of one of those things?
No.
So this is kind of new to me as well. But one of the board members has one of these devices, and the theory behind it is it plants seeds, corn, wheat, grass, whatever, without tilling up the soil. It's got knives that cut little trenches, blow the seeds down in there, and then wheels that close that slice in the soil up, and it leaves the roots in the ground intact, so they're not destroyed like you do with tilling. And the folks that use them say that it helps quite a bit on erosion control. So anyway, that machine was at the booth, and they explained how it worked to people. And that philosophy, if you will, is catching on. More and more people are starting to use these things. So the commission went after a grant to get their own, and a couple of weeks ago they got it. That's what it looks like. You put seeds in the top, the wheels rotate around. You can either pull it down the freeway behind a pickup or get it out in the field. And
wow, that's pretty
interesting.
Yeah. So 12 feet wide.
So you'd have to plant some.
And it's a note. What's it called?
Not necessarily. For folks that need to, let's say they just want to boost up, less weeds and more Timothy for hay or alfalfa or that sort of thing. Yes.
Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But,
that's pretty neat.
Yeah, so this thing will be available to anybody, and it's for rent. And then, since we're just starting out, the idea is the dollars that brings in will help take care of the thing and kind of fund the program of tracking the hours on it and having somebody there to teach somebody how to use it the first time, because setting it up is kind of complex. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of neat that they were successful hunting down some funding and in the ag world.
That's interesting.
Yeah. The day that it showed up, a guy showed up at the office and already wanted to find out how do I rent that thing. So yeah, it's this part of the ag business is kind of out of my wheelhouse. I mean, if we're talking about timber, that's one thing, but that type of farming is something I don't have much experience with. But the other board members, they've been doing it for generations, so it's really interesting to watch them work with somebody that's got a problem on his farm, and they say, "Oh, let's try this," and things like that. Right?
Interesting.
Yeah. So the entity seems to be going strong. I'm going to go ahead and throw my hat in the ring to see if I can get reelected to keep my spot on the board. I've been with them for a few years, but only because I was appointed to fill the position of someone that had to step down, like Ed Pomeranian first, and then another fella. So I didn't win the last election. In Shoshone County I did, but in Kootenai County nobody knew me. So
Yes.
But this time I'm trying to visit with folks in Kootenai County, so maybe I'll get a vote or two out of them.
Let's say everybody over here knows you. Right?
But I don't know if I mentioned before, but all of those board members are volunteers. They don't get paid for anything. And so to me, that tells me that they're there because they want to be there. And they have an interest in that sort of thing. So the more I get to know them, the more I like them. Well, kind of continue down that path, and wanted to make sure and say thanks for whatever Shoshone County has decided to chip in.
I think last time you came in, you kind of gave us an update on projects going on. Do you have any of those of what they're doing, or?
For our county, there's one in the chute up the river. It's another case of a property owner with a little bit of erosion problem. It's Atkins, Tammy Atkins, that family. Yeah. There's a long road to hoe between identifying a problem and then getting a solution. You gotta, first of all, the commission's engineer comes up and looks at it and forms a plan. Then you start the grant process to figure out a way to pay for it and apply and wait. So it can be a couple of year process, but it's worth it for the homeowners if they'll stick it out.
Is this up the new site, up where her folks
Yeah.
lived? Okay.
Mhm.
Lived, yeah.
There's a few other sites that I've already done up there that I've not been to. And those individuals were coming to the board meetings at the conclusion of their projects, so I never got involved in those ones. That was about the time I started out. But they do want to do things in Shoshone County. It's just you got to find people that have a need.
And since the public's watching, this is a good chance to advertise. What kind of needs do you see people coming with, or would you like to see people coming with? What kind of needs?
Well, I guess particularly anybody on the river that's got erosion problems. They're good at finding solutions and very good at finding funding to help in those situations. They kind of just quietly work behind the scenes and get things done.
Yeah.
Would that be good for roads too, for some driveways and stuff on a road with erosion or creeks or?
Say a culvert's blown out.
Culvert's
Something
blown
like
out.
that.
Okay.
I've heard conversations about those types of instances. There again, I haven't personally been involved in any of those, but that's
That's part of one. That's ones you guys do as well.
Okay. Yep. I've also been kind of on the fringe of conversations where they work with the counties, instances like that. So they're, I think, they're a good group to help out in situations like that, and they're good at working with other entities from what I've seen. So,
Okay.
But primarily on the river.
um, I'd say yes for the ones that I've been introduced to.
Okay.
But again, for the ag industry, uh, farmers that have issues with erosion or even weed control, there's a group of people there that just have a huge amount of knowledge, from my perspective. And they're all willing to help.
And how would they contact you?
We have an office in Kootenai. It's in the USDA office, federal
Okay.
building up there.
Okay.
It's in the book.
Okay.
Anything else you got going on or upcoming that you know of?
For that organization, I think that about sums it up.
About something.
Like I said, I just kind of wanted to make a casual mention of the fact they're still going strong over there. They're a good resource, I think.
Yeah. Sounds like it. Sounds like that's gonna be interesting with that planner.
Yeah,
It'd be interesting to maybe next year come and tell us how it went.
yeah. I hope to get out there and see it in action.
Yeah,
I've
I'd
never
like to
actually.
too. I've never. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. It's wheel driven.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of complex but simple at the same time. The philosophy is just don't tear up the soil so much when you get those seeds in the ground.
Hmm.
Anyway.
Great. Well, any further questions from the commission on
Nope.
for John?
Nope.
We appreciate you taking the time to update us on that. It's nice to hear what's going on and what you're doing with what money we do come up with. And we appreciate the volunteers.
Yeah, well, we'll keep at it. And I'll try to come visit with you at least once a year on these kinds of things if you'd like to do that. Great.
So we know what we're. Yeah, it really helps us when we're budgeting to have some idea of what you're doing and what you're doing in Shoshone County. So that's a big help. Appreciate it. And good luck on your run for. When will that be, in November?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll give it a try.
Yeah. Good luck with that. How many of the rest of the board are from Kootenai?
All of them. Yeah, I'm the only one from Shoshone County, and as far as I know, for this November election, I think I'm the only one from Shoshone County that's applied. So,
Okay. All right.
Ed Pomeranning, he'd been on the board for years, and he just always felt it was important for Shoshone County to have a voice on that as well, and that's kind of what got me started.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we will adjourn, and then we've got to